It's me, Clinton, and this is the Where's on Main podcast. Today's topic, I should not be smiling because today's topic is very grim, but I don't know what else to do. I can only smile. Today's topic is very deep in a very. I want to start from what happened yesterday for today's topic. And I think what happened yesterday is the antithesis, like the primary reason I feel like this happened in now and like in 1930s Germany. I was like, it was really sunny in Edinburgh where I live yesterday, and I followed this person to go get a van for this person's job, and the sales guy was like complaining about the sun. By the way, the sales guy is white, and the person I followed was black, and like while the sales guy was going to go get his keys, like the keys for the van this person wanted to get, another guy like walked up to us and with me and the person I was with and said, "Oh, it's really hot today." And we were like, "Oh yeah, it's really hot." Then the guy was like, "Oh, you should not like be feeling the heat because like you're used to this." And I was like, "Oh my god, shoot me in the head." Because I feel people feel like because X has experienced like the the best way I could explain it to myself while I was thinking of this topic the whole day was like, imagine someone who's being abused every single day, like, and someone who was abused for the first time saying to the person, "Oh, you should be used to like the abuse because you've been experiencing it every single day. You like someone's hitting you in the head. You should be used to it because like today is my first day that like X is hitting me in the head, and you've been getting like your head hit every single day for the last however many days you want to think of." And I feel not thinking X or whoever, like the people I'm going to talk about in this podcast episode, have the same feelings or like are experiencing the same emotions or sensations as you is what I feel let this go on or let it happen even now. Um, Today's topic was meant to be called Alligator Alcatraz because I know I said it last week. I know I said Alligator Alcatraz, but while I was working on this week's episode, I wanted to talk about Gaza, altruist. I can't pronounce that word. Sorry, I'm not German, but altruist and Alligator Alcatraz all in the confines of this topic. They're concentrated here. My first question is, why would anybody support something like this? Why would someone else, like, why would you, as a person, even if the people you're like trying to punish are in a different political ideology from you, why would you want them to face harm? Why would you want them to be ostracized? Why would you want them to have a life that's really different from yours? I know a lot of the times we never consider the way other people's lives may go, and we never consider like if we take this action what the consequences would be, not for only us but for the people around us. Like, let's say you're really you had a really bad day and someone's like cutting you off or like walks really fast in front of you, and then you like pour out your anger on that person. Maybe that person had a bad day as well. You don't know. I think we only think of the emotions we feel and we never think of the emotions that X or someone else is feeling, and that like at the same time. I think we have this, and I think it's because of the culture, this individualistic culture, the culture of like thinking of only yourself. And I have fallen into the camp of like thinking of only myself in a lot of moments in my life. I think for the last 300 years of my life, I have only thought of how it made me feel. And I think thinking of the greater good, the greater, like the community, the collective is better off than thinking of only your sometimes short term needs. I don't think all the support for concentration camps came from hatred of the other group. Some people were comfortable and they did not like. I swear, I've been trying to think of this for the for the last week, and if I I know myself, I know that I would not fight for the people. I'm being honest with you, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like perpetuate the harm against those people. I know, like, let's say the people I truly care about, they're safe and they're like okay. I don't think I'm someone who will go out and like protest. A good example is the Gaza situation. I People protest every single week in Edinburgh, and I've never gone out once. I've never seen those people and thought, "Oh, they're a nuisance," but I've never seen those people and thought, "Oh, what they're doing is great." I feel because I think I said this on the podcast like when I was speaking about Gaza like for a little bit, just an episode. I don't know what I said, but the main idea of what I said was at the end of the day, I know that if this Gaza situation like doesn't like favor me, and I'm not saying it's favoring me right now to talk about it, but if it doesn't favor me, I can pivot and say I've been supporting Israel all along because there's no like integral like I don't know what word to use. There's nothing foundational in my support of Gaza. The first reason why I supported Gaza was because of Bella Hadid. We all know I'm a Bella Hadid fan. And that I really did not know what was going on, but I was like, Bella Hadid is beautiful, and she beautiful people know the right thing. And even now that I'm not I've learned a little more about I've learned like a tiny bit more about what's going on in Gaza. I still have my apprehensions to like fully supporting it, and that's why I would never like fully go into like the pro-Palestinian side or go into like the fully Jewish side because I feel it truly doesn't affect me, and I think that's how people felt in Auschwitz, and I think that's how people feel in like America right now in Alligator Alcatraz. Like I'm comfortable. I live in a beautiful house. What's happening to the immigrants in my country, America, doesn't really matter. Like I've never been mean to an immigrant person, but I wish them well, and I think that's exactly the same way I felt about Gaza. Like I think that's the best way I could like explain the mentality of comfort in what's going on. You're comfortable enough to ignore what's going on. Um, and I wonder if I was in the other like side of the situation. Let's say I am a kid in Gaza or I'm a person in Alligator Alcatraz. I'll be hoping for someone to step up and like protest and like help because that's all you can that's truly all you can do. You can only wish because your whole life is controlled from the food you eat, the time you go to the loo, the water you drink, the clothes you wear, the people you stay with, the time you go outside, the time you sleep. Like your whole life is so you're under surveillance 24/7. Your whole life is scheduled into boxes, and you can't choose what you get next. Like you don't have any choice. You're given, for example, food. You don't have the like choice to. You can't be spontaneous in your life. I was gonna say spontaneity. I don't know what's wrong with me today, but you can't be spontaneous in your life. You can't stand up and say I just want to go to the shops and get pizza and like make that for dinner because I don't want anything that's in the fridge. There's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do if you don't like the meal that they provide you just like starve, and that's sad, and that's a lot of people's reality right now. At the later part of me, I think on the last 3 months of me like having a TikTok account. I still have a TikTok account, but I'm not active on TikTok. So for the last 3 months I was active on TikTok. I and maybe it's because I was growing up as well. I started understanding the necessity to think of other people and not think of only yourself. Before, whenever I saw like videos of people who were like suffering, I always skipped those videos. Like I really don't care. I'm actually poor. I'm like I know. I was like I'm poor, so I really can't help you. And I'm not saying I've given to the homeless or poor people. No, I'm not. I've never done that because I'm poor. But I think acknowledging the fact that someone else is going through a harder time or someone else is going through a hard time and seeing that and hoping for a better time for that person is all you can do if you're poor or if you don't have as much as a lot of people or the people who can give generously. I think with the social media, I think your time or watching a video fully is the best thing you can truly do to like give because that's you being generous with your time. I used to see African videos of like kids with no water. I was like, that's not real. There's water in Africa. But I think we color our experiences with the way we lived our lives. We think the way we live is the same way every single person is living. And I truly want to like employ you to go outside of what your circle shows you or what you think is the right way to live. I feel if you can stretch your imagination and stretch your thoughts on what you think is the ideal. I don't think you might think people have what or like I don't think I know that we see like people have more than us on the internet and we think we don't have as much. But I think going and not only searching out people who are doing less than you so you feel better about yourself, but just to like appreciate the fact that like the episode I did like a couple months ago. Why is this your life? Why is this my life? Why is my life like I said in that episode? Why am I not a kid in a war torn area? Why am I not a kid in like a very destitute family, like in a very poor area? Why am I not like an old person in a decrepit house? Why am I not somebody else? Why am I not super famous? Why am I not Kim Kardashian's child? Tell me. Tell me why Kim Kardashian is not my mother. Please tell me that. The question of why this is your life is, in my opinion, the most important question that anybody could answer. And I think in 2023, I said my favorite song. Today's podcast is really good. I know. I know. I'm going to nominate this podcast of the year 2025. But um last in 2023 I said my favorite song was What Was I Made For, because I think for the last 3 years I've been struggling with the essence of life. Like, what is the point here? Do we just live this mediocre? I have been thinking of an experience, like a life experience that I would I I've been trying to think of a life experience that is not mediocre. I thought being as wealthy as possible is the ideal. And for the longest time, like growing up, I thought wealth was the ideal. And now I feel like it's mediocre. I thought giving yourself to somebody else is the ideal, like in love. And I think it's mediocre as well. I think there's not like I think the whole concept of life or the whole concept of living is a farce. I know you hear that. I'm like, oh, he's really existential. Or nihilistic. I don't think I'm nihilistic existential. I think it's all a farce because there is a time limit. So what's the point of life? Is the point of life to just feel pleasure till the time you die? Question mark. I truly don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know. I want to tell you about alligator Alcatraz in America, in Florida, to be specific. Alligator Alcatraz is a detention center where illegal immigrants are kept until they can deport them home. And the way the Trump administration, I'm not trying, honest, I'm going to say this in every single episode so everybody knows. I don't think Trump is a fascist. I don't claim Trump as a fascist. I like the guy in some cases, in all cases. He made me lose my only friend in this country, so yeah, whatever. When the Trump administration was were running for the presidential office in the United States of America, the campaign said they were going to get rid of all of the criminals in America, the illegal criminals, because the Biden administration was letting in illegal criminals, this crime everywhere in America. And that was what Trump ran on, and a lot of people supported that. I even thought it was right because I was like, okay, get rid of these horrible people. They're making like all the immigrants look bad. Like not all immigrants are bad, just the bad ones that are like running and making everything look bad. And then when Trump got into office, the press secretary said, then like I've forgotten who asked her, but like a journalist asked her, like, so how will you guys know who's a like an illegal criminal, like a criminal who is an illegal alien? That's how they say it in America, an illegal immigrant. And um, she said, "Oh no, they're all illegal. They're all criminals because they all came in illegally, so they're all criminals." And my point on my notes where it was, they make it seem like, I'll just read what I wrote. They sell you protection, they sell you safety, they sell you justice, not cruelty. I feel they sold the image of getting rid of the bad guys and leaving the good ones, and we can like coexist with the good immigrants, the good illegal immigrants, and make them official United States citizens. But when they got into power, there was no such thing as good or bad ones. They were getting rid of all of them. And that's what I think. I I don't know a lot about Auschwitz, but I think in Gaza that was the same thing they did. They sold it as getting the aggressive, evil Palestinians who hate Jews, the Muslims who want to kill Jews, away from the Jews. They sold that place as a sanctuary for like the Palestinians to stay in, and the Jews are safe from their wrath and the weird Bible notation that one day, or like Torah notation that one day the Muslims will like kill the Jews or whatever. Yeah, that's all I have to say for that point. I really don't know what to say because I think being able to sell something to people and them taking it is a master. Like, yeah, they took it. They accepted it. It's not like it was forced onto the people in America or the people in Gaza or the people in, sorry, not Gaza, and the people in Israel. They accepted it because they thought it's safer for them. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I feel stressed. American exceptionalism makes people feel cruelty is different in America, but it's not. I think if you're doing horrible things, if people have to stay in a space that doesn't consider them as humans for however long they stay, I don't think that's not cruelty. I think that's evil. I think that's mean. I think we should think as people. I think if you would not feel, if you not like endure the same experience as you wish for somebody else, I don't think you should put it onto that person. No, I don't think you should. I don't think you should. If you don't like people making fun of you, don't make fun of another person. If you if you don't like people making fun of you, don't make fun of another person. If and if you do like making fun of, if you do like making what's wrong with me today? And if you do like when people make fun of you, then consider how you make fun of other people. If you don't like attention, don't draw attention to other people's shortcomings. Imagine like walking down the street and someone like says, "Oh, that's a blue haired person." I hate people with blue hair. They make me want to shoot myself in the eyeball. But I'm never gonna make look at a blue hair person and like stop pointing. That's stupid. The reason why I don't like blue hair is not because they're liberals. I've told you before, I'm 20% liberal, 20% conservative, and the rest I'm undecided. But I know I don't like blue hair because it's just ugly and it's not natural. Um, I want to talk about the against now. I feel the reason why I like America and what's going on right now is because it is the fact that Americans are more vocal than people in Germany were. Um, in America, with alligator Alcatraz, with what Trump is doing to like the illegal immigrants, with Gaza, there is this fight against this tyrannical leader. And I know he's not tyrannical anymore yet, but there's this fight against the things he's doing. Like no people are not just, or the citizens of America are not just like taking it sitting down. They're fighting for what they see as right or wrong. And I feel that's a good place to be, fighting for the helpless. And if you can, you should. I could, but I have the worst panic attacks on the planet when I'm in public places. I think that's why I don't like doing it. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast episode, the problem is that man at the beginning of the podcast I spoke about who experienced the same sun as us. Yeah, like when I went to that person to buy that car, he experienced the same sun as us, but he was like, "Oh, y'all should be used to this by now," because he's like white. And if I really don't know how to explain it. I feel if you don't consider the like experiences other people are like going through as like equal to what you experience, then I'm picking my nose in this episode. But um I think that's the true problem. I think if we can think of other people, no matter what, as real people, as people who experience the same thing as us, we will lead a better life and we will think of people in a more empathetic way. And we'll not wish for concentration camps or dictators. I feel there's this person I know, and the person wants a country to be in a dictatorship. I feel there's some people who need to be euthanized and shot in the head or be given a lobotomy. That's why I feel for some people. I feel people shouldn't live past 40 anymore. I hope not to live past 2025. But, and if I do, I'll see you when I'm 80 something. But, I'll speak to you next week on an episode called It's Not Happening to Me. So, the book I finally read The Silent Patient, the book. That's a book I read this week. It's really good. It's really good. The Silent Patient is really good. I don't know how to explain it. That's I gave that book a 4 star on Goodreads, but I think I should have given it a 5 star. And I think I'm gonna reread the book because it's that good. That I've only reread 3 books in my lifetime, and The Silent Patient is up there. I thought I would not like the book, but it's really good. Um, uh, on lighter notes, The Summer I Turned Pretty. Belly is really annoying me in The Summer I Turned Pretty. She's really annoying me. Belly is gonna marry. I don't know if she gets married to. I can't remember his name, but Connor's brother. Belly should get married to Connor, not Connor's brother. But she's really annoying me in that show. But yeah, I hate the fact that it's weekly, but at the same time, I'm not binge watching it. So I enjoy the fact that it's weekly. I think that's all I want to say today. If there's anything else, I will call you next week in the next 6 episode, which is called It's Not Happening to Me. So, okay, goodbye. I'll speak to you next week. Bye!